Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again. It's pretty late here in Hong Kong, around coming to 10 p.m. But it's time, guys. This is a video I've been wanting to do for you guys for a long period of time. That's right, this is my comparison review, actually just past the 1 week mark, of the Honor 8X versus the Mi 8 Lite. Now, like I said, I've had these phones for just over a week. I've been putting them through their paces, switching the SIM card back and forth from both of these phones. I must say, guys, I used the Mi 8 Lite probably more in the first half of the week, but then I really switched over and used the 8X more, and then probably in the last 2 days I've been using both equally. And just going to give my quick kind of 1 week review for both of these phones, but as it compares to each other. These are great phones, guys. These are two of the best phones that I think you can get at this price point. I got these phones for around $250 US, so just around 2,000 Hong Kong dollars for each of these. But there are some very, very specific differences between these phones that I want to kind of go over here. And we're going to go down the general list of design, display, performance. We're going to do our classic audio test, and then I'm going to wrap up sharing some of these camera shots here in this video. So I'll hopefully get this video out tonight, but if I don't, I'll get it out sometime tomorrow morning, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, guys, just giving you my first 1 week review of these phones. They are really great. It's been so great coming back to Frankie Tech here and getting really into the channel, and I couldn't think of two better phones to really kind of get into the channel with again. And let's kind of lower the brightness here so I can make sure that it's visible to you guys, just kind of showing you what these phones have looked like overall. They have been a joy to use. Design wise, there's pros and cons on both sides, but let's get into it, guys, because I know that you're here to see this epic comparison. So let's get started right here. Okay, so let's start with design, okay? Design is it is the one aspect of this section, these sections here, that I want to spend quite a bit of time on, just because I think there's a lot to talk about with the design of these phones. So I'm going to turn off the screens here real quick and just show you. Look at these phones right here. This is a 6.26-inch display versus a 6.5-inch display. This is the size of the iPhone XS Max display right here. But in terms of the handhold feel, you see for that extra few inches, few bit of inches there, the size of the 8X is not much more than the Mi 8 Lite here. And even more importantly, guys, look at the backs. These phones, this is the design ethos of 2018, guys. It's glass sandwiches, dual cameras, back fingerprint sensors, and aluminum kind of edges here. But I do like, specifically on the Mi 8 Lite here, how there is this kind of nice glossy kind of detail here on the metal edge. Whereas on the, if you see it here, compare the two there, you see this is more of a matte edge. Now I will say this one is going to be, I think, a bit less susceptible to scratching, but this one is the more premium look. And then you take this glossy, beautiful glossy kind of two-tone color here. It goes from this purple to this kind of bluish color here. Hard to see in this lighting, but you can see there on the Honor 8X. I picked the black version. Nothing against the black color. I have nothing against it. But the build quality on these phones is excellent, really, on both. You can see there, let's show you the edge there. Both have that 2.5D glass. See the edge there on these two. In terms of depth, they're just over 7.5 millimeters each. I want to say 7.8 for the Honor 8X and around 7.6 to 7.8. I'll get the full specs and put them here in the design category. But looking at these two guys, they both feel great in the hand. Which phone feels better in the hand? It's the Mi 8 Lite, guys. This Mi 8 Lite feels just super premium in the hand. I absolutely love how it feels. And, talking about the overall kind of just design, you can see here, what are the pros and the cons of each one? Well, let's talk about the pros of the Honor 8X, first of all. The pros of the Honor 8X is that if you see here, the bottom here, the bezel is smaller on the Honor 8X. That is one big pro. The notch is also a little bit smaller there, you can see. And the biggest pro really when it comes to design of this phone is that it does include the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, just in terms of overall, peripherals included there. The Mi 8 Lite, it is just the more, I think personally, more attractive phone overall. And most importantly, it does have that USB-C charging that will make a big difference versus the micro USB on the Honor 8X. But no headphone jack. So you guys who are waiting for a headphone jack, if that's your deal breaker, you already have your answer, which phone you want. But this was about design, this section. And so if I'm going to give it to one phone, I'm going to give it to the Mi 8 Lite. That's right, guys. The Mi 8 Lite wins the design category here. But the Honor 8X is no slouch. It is still a great and beautifully designed phone. And it is really a step above my experience with the 8X Max. I really am enjoying the size of this phone far better than I did the 8X Max. Talking about display, and won't spend too much time on this section because I was talking about that in design just now. But the most important thing you have to realize here, guys, is that this is a 6.5-inch display, 84.4 screen to body ratio, and the Mi 8 Lite here is a 6.26-inch display, 82.5%. Now, where is the Honor 8X getting that little bit of extra percentage there? Like I explained earlier, it's that bottom bezel. It is just a little bit smaller. And the bigger screen size, the bigger phone overall, will mean that this phone is the more edge-to-edge feeling phone. That's not to say, though, that the Mi 8 Lite is some sort of, terrible Pixel 3 XL. You guys know what I'm talking about, with a notch in the chin, okay? It is much, much less bezel-tastic there. It is definitely not bad at all. In fact, I still enjoy this phone and the way it feels in the hand. And the display, if I really have to be honest with you guys, I'm really, really a fan of the display on the Mi 8 Lite here. I think you guys have seen it. You've already seen it in some other videos, but if you see it in this video, look at the colors on this display. I don't know what it is. I don't know what kind of panel they picked there, but I really do like it. And the viewing angles are phenomenal. They're just phenomenal. It is a really, really nice LCD panel here. And obviously it's a 19 by 9 aspect ratio, whereas on the 8X, it's a 19.5 by 9. But just to quickly show you guys what does content look like here on these phones, let's jump right in here to, we'll pick the classic Pocophone video here. And we don't have to worry about sound real quick here, guys. We just kind of keep it low there. And I just want a full screen to show you guys what the full screen experience looks like on these phones. So you see it here, and you see it here. Video playback on these two phones. This is the Mi 8 Lite, and this is the Honor 8X. And I'm going to zoom in here. You see there, it is zoomed in. They both look great. I mean, honestly, they look great. But you see both phones have really good viewing angles. You see there, really nice. And honestly, it is not going to be a bad viewing experience on either of these phones. I recommend both of them, but if I really had to pick one, just one, well, I know you guys think I'm going to pick the Mi 8 Lite here just because of the colors and the overall kind of look. But I will say, for the more kind of full screen viewing experience, I may give the edge here to the Honor 8X. So on a very slight first place spot, I give it to the 8X. And the Mi 8 Lite comes just slightly behind because it doesn't have that more futuristic look there on the bottom. But really, it's the closest category, probably, I'd say, of the bunch here between these two phones. Performance. All right, let's do it, guys. And this is the section that, I've been probably most excited about because these are two very distinctly different chipsets right here. We're running the Kirin 710 on the Honor 8X, and we have the Snapdragon 660 here on the Mi 8 Lite. Now, like I mentioned earlier, guys, I was having some issues getting the Antutu benchmark running on this phone, and actually I have some good news I'll report in a second, but just to share with you guys first, the Geekbench right here, guys. So Geekbench on the Mi 8, the Honor 8X was 1600 single core, 5578 multi-core. I kind of shared this screenshot earlier. I would wish I could have shared the Antutu, but you see here, this really illustrates how close these phones are. And most importantly here is that both of these phones are if I showed you earlier, they are the 6GB variants here. They are very similar in terms of performance. You see, 6GB. And you know what blows my mind, guys, is that the Pixel 3 launched earlier this week, and both of those Pixel 3s have 4GB of RAM in them. I don't know what Google's doing there. I'm going to be very curious to see how that phone runs, because I will be trying to get my hands on a Pixel 3 at some point. But it's just amazing to think that two phones that are in the $250 to $300 price point here have 6GB of RAM and have really respectable scores overall. So what does that mean for, I'd say, overall performance here? And I'm going to do kind of a quick little app opening test here. So let's kind of open them up in time. So we're just going to open up 3 random apps here. Let's start with YouTube. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. There you see the Honor 8X was the first there. Now let's open up the Play Store. 3, 2, 1, go. Aha, Honor 8X. All right. All right, let's go here to Twitter. 3, 2, 1, go. And I haven't loaded it right here on this phone, but you see the application definitely opened faster there. Let's try another one here in Spotify. Whoops. Spotify. 3, 2, 1, go. That is surprising, guys. So you see it there. And let's do one last one just for the road here. We're going to turn on Asphalt 9 on all the phones here. 3, 2, 1, go. And so you see here, they're obviously taking their time, but let's see just which phone gets to kind of the settings screen first here. And so far, I am pretty impressed with this Kirin 710. But there you go. There you go. Which one came in first there? It was the Snapdragon 660. The reliable and I think just more powerful Adreno GPUs are going to do better than the ones on the Honor 8X here. So talking about performance here, which phone would I pick for overall performance champ here? It's really a toss-up. I think it's about as close to any section as display here on these. If I had to give just a slight edge, and it would be because of that just loading test I just did there, I may say that the Kirin 710 was performing better there. So I may give the slight edge to the Kirin 710. But I think if you're a gamer and if you really care about gaming, I think that's going to be something that I'm going to have to review fully in my gaming review. And this is where the good news comes, guys. So if you saw there, the actual Asphalt 9 game loaded here on the Honor 8X. And that means that I was able to figure out what was going on. And I'm going to just spend 1 second. This video is going to get long, but I want to share with you guys how exactly it is that I figured this out. I actually found it online here. So if you go to apps, you click on this link here, you go to app permissions. So if you guys buy this phone and you want to make sure you can download the apps, you need to go here to storage permissions. And when you get the Play Store on the device, you need to make sure that the Play Store is activated, that this toggle is on there. In fact, I'm going to turn it on for Play Services as well. I don't think it'll matter, but most importantly, the Play Store needs to be activated there, guys. If you don't do that, you're going to run into the issue I was running into. And honestly, it was a really bad issue. In fact, it was a part of the reason why I returned the Honor 8X Max. Now, in all honesty, guys, the 8X Max had a bunch of other issues. I wasn't happy with it, so I'm really glad because I really do like the Honor 8X. It's probably one of my more favorite Honor phones that I've tested in a while. And now that I have the gaming capability, stay tuned, guys. That gaming review is going to be coming pretty soon, and I can't wait to put these two against each other to really see which is the better kind of performer when it comes to games. But for right now, for the apps loading test and the way things went, I'm going to give the performance round here to the Honor 8X. Pretty incredible. Audio, audio, audio. Let's do the audio round here real quick. This video is getting super long, and I am very much aware of it, guys. So let's have a look here. We're just going to play that similar old royalty-free. I don't really want to get into any other songs right now, but I will be considering changing the music very soon, guys. I know you're probably getting tired of the music, so just stay tuned. But here's 75% first on the Honor 8X. Now we're going to switch over to the Mi 8 Lite. 75% on the Mi 8 Lite. Let's jump forward a little bit. Now back to the Honor 8X. %100% on the Honor 8X. And now 100 on the Mi 8 Lite. Honor 8X. Mi 8 Lite. Wow. That was incredible. I did not expect there to be such a separation there. While the Honor 8X was definitely loud, the sound on the Mi... Listen to that. Listen to that again. Oh man, it is night and day, guys. The Honor 8X. Dolby? Really? Is there Dolby on this? Is there Dolby, like... I don't think that... If there is Dolby on this, I can't hear it. I really can't hear it, guys. Because that is one of the more lopsided sound quality tests that I've experienced here on Frankie Tech. And honestly, the Mi 8 Lite just crushed, in my experience, crushed the Honor 8X. That was like a no contest there, guys. That was crazy. The sound on this was tinny. It was just not good. It was, and it was pretty loud, but it just didn't sound that great. But the Mi 8 Lite sounded clear, crisp, and I think the major thing was that it sounded full. Like it just sounded like a full sound. It may be the way it's lined up here with the kind of the angle. I don't think so though. So that is crazy. And I clearly now will give this audio section to the Mi 8 Lite. I don't know what they're talking about with Dolby, and I really don't know if it's even on this phone, guys. If you read about the 8X having Dolby Atmos, maybe it does. Maybe that's through the headphone jack. But obviously, I'm not going to do a headphone jack test here. In my experience of my testing with the headphone jack on this phone, it's been great. It sounds really good. So maybe that's where the Dolby Atmos is being applied. But at least when it comes to the speaker on this phone, it is just okay. Whereas the Mi 8 Lite is excellent. I would say it's excellent, and it's up there, probably on par with the Mi A2. So that's what I'm going to say for now. First place and kind of the victory for the audio goes to the Mi 8 Lite. All right, so to wrap up talking about camera. And so I'm going to spend this next couple minutes in this camera section not talking about the camera. No, just kidding, guys. But I guess what I'm trying to say right now is that I'm going to separate the camera review of these phones into a fully different video, guys. And the reason for that is because I want to make as extensive a camera review as possible. Those camera reviews definitely also take longer. And as you saw in the rainy video I did of the with the Mi Max 3 yesterday, it's been a little bit hard getting some camera shots out, but I did get a chance to take some shots. So instead of just showing you nothing at all here, guys, I'm going to just share some of the shots I took versus these phones here, just quickly here on the on this video. Now stay tuned, guys, for the full camera review that will be coming up. So just let's see here if we can find the specific shot. I want to show you guys there those two shots. So let's zoom in on these windows here from a distance. You can see there, look at the dynamic range here on the trees there on the Honor 8X versus the Mi 8 Lite. I'm definitely liking that on the Honor 8X a bit more. And that could be because of the use of night mode there. Definitely going to reveal some of these photos in the camera review there. But just kind of look at these shots here. And this is one I took. Look at that. Now, which one's better there? It's kind of hard to say, but the Mi 8 Lite is definitely lighter. But I think both struggle with the kind of the glass here. And look at the edge there. The Honor 8X, it gets a little kind of blurry there. But on the Mi 8 Lite there, you can zoom in there. Look at that. It does kind of fail to capture the edge a little bit there. So, you know, definitely it's kind of a mixed bag here, but I think both phones have the chance to do really well in this camera review. So stay tuned, guys. I know it's kind of a cop-out not to do the full camera review right now, but like I said, it's going to have to wait, guys. And if I had to give it to one of these phones right now, really, I'm just going to have to leave it as a tie for now, guys. So just stay tuned for the full camera review. I'll put all those photos next to each other. I did take some front and rear facing video. I'm happy to report I'm not having any speaker kind of audio quality issues on the Honor 8X. So sorry for the kind of slightly lousy camera comparison just now, but stay tuned for that full camera review. And so that's the end of the video, guys. And just final thoughts here on these two phones. They really are they are very different phones, but for some reason feel very similar. And I don't know what it is, but I feel like they are almost like kindred spirits. And I don't know what it is, but when I hold these phones in my hand, I feel like they somehow, it's just the perfect comparison video, because there's like things from this phone that I really like, and there's things from this phone that I really like. And it's funny because when I first got the two phones, I was all about the Mi 8 Lite. I was just going back crazy about it. But as the days have progressed, I've slowly started to like the Honor 8X. And not to say that I like it more, but I just liked it a lot more than I initially did. So, you know, kind of thinking about overall, like which phone is the best of these two. You know, it's going to come down to kind of your preferences and what type of a person, what type of, focus you have for your phone. So if you want the kind of the nicest design, let's say you kind of really care about design and having a really beautiful kind of two-tone design, really something that looks like the Nova 3 or the 3i that I've reviewed previously, you're going to want to get the Mi 8 Lite. It is just a stunning phone for the price. And honestly, it is just an absolute beaut. But if, let's say, you value just the bigger screen, maybe you just want the bigger screen, and not to mention battery life, guys. That is a big point here that I need to kind of just quickly talk about, and I'm glad I brought it up here, because the battery life on these phones is quite a bit different, but I guess in a good way for one and in a not so good way for the other. This is the case where the Honor 8X actually will outdo the Mi 8 Lite with that 3,750 milliampere battery versus the 3,350 on the Mi 8 Lite. And I think given the screen size of this phone, it is getting me a bit nervous about whether the battery is going to hold. So stay tuned for that full battery drain test, which is also going to be something I'm going to be working on later this weekend. Stay tuned for that. That's going to be a fun one. But hey, if you want the biggest screen and the best battery life of these two, you have your answer. It's the Honor 8X. And then what about like performance? What about overall performance? That one really is a toss-up, I've got to say. But just from the initial kind of performance overview here, I'm gonna have to give it to the Honor 8X. I just thought it opened and loaded those apps a lot faster, and it's looking like the Kirin 710 may have an edge on the Snapdragon 660 here overall. And then in terms of camera, once again, I think the Mi 8 Lite definitely impressed me from the start, but little by little, the Honor 8X has been kind of inching back, and its AI camera, inclusion of night mode, and a lot of other features makes me think it may be kind of equaling the Mi 8 Lite, if not surpassing it in some key features there. So you may want to give the edge, but stay tuned for the full camera review when I really crown the camera champion in that section there. And so overall, which phone would I pick? Which phone would I pick as my overall, like at least 1 week in, my overall kind of champ, my overall champ of the Honor 8X versus the Mi 8 Lite? Whew. I can't believe I'm saying this, guys, and this is going to kind of shock you guys who have followed this channel for quite a bit. I'm picking the Honor 8X. Wow. Yeah. By a hair. This is incredible, guys. And this proves to you guys that you should never judge a book by its cover initially. The feeling that I originally had for this phone was that it was just going to be trounced by the Mi 8 Lite. The Mi 8 Lite is still a phenomenal phone. It's got that beautiful look, and I still think it is a great phone overall. It brings a lot to the table, and it is just, I think, just a really phenomenal phone for the price. But this phone, the Honor 8X, has slowly but surely creeped up into like that slightly more favorite spot. That isn't to say that this is my favorite phone that I own. Like, that is not true. In fact, I would say that there are probably phones that I have in my arsenal here that I probably like still better. Pocophone, anyone? I still probably like the Pocophone better than these two phones, just for the performance, camera, and overall just feeling of the phone, overall just kind of UI and stability and all that stuff. But between these two phones, it really is a surprise, because I didn't think I was going to be picking the Honor 8X over the Mi 8 Lite at the end of this video. I really didn't. And honestly, it is crazy, because like this has got the USB-C, it's got the nicer looks, it's got everything. But I tell you what, like if this phone continues to perform that well, and if the game situation is resolved now, and if the camera situation is resolved now, and if you're starting to kind of appreciate the kind of bigger battery, the bigger display, the smaller bezels, you're going to start seeing that this may still be the overall better product over the Mi 8 Lite, regardless of the fancier two-tone design. And that is surprising. But anyways, that's my take, guys. What do you guys think? This is the most razor-thin decision I've ever made, but 1 weekend I give it to this. What are your thoughts? Definitely hit me up in the comment section there. If you think I got this horribly wrong, I already hear the Xiaomi fans, all the lovers, and I love you guys because I love Xiaomi too, just hating on this video now because I have picked the Honor 8X as the slight favorite over this phone. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, give me that thumbs up. And if you didn't like the decision, let me know. Drop it in the comments there. Let me know if you think that I was wrong to kind of give this kind of overall victory to the Honor 8X here. And, definitely, hit the bell icon, subscribe to the channel, guys. I do appreciate all the support and really want to hear and see your thoughts on this very polarizing video here on Frankie Tech, where I have finally said, you know what? I love the pizzazz. I love the look of this guy, but this guy is the overall better phone. Crazy. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think. And this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech signing off. Y'all have a good one.